So Mashle, Muscles and Magic.
Magic and Muscles.
Magic
Please
and
stop saying
Muscles is a show. And it's fine. I mean, I think it's good. But here's my thing. I thought it was enjoyable, but I have a lot of gripes. Honestly, my opinion has kind of like shifted a lot in the last like 2 days as I finished the show and like have marinated on it. And what I will say is I think it's a good show. I think it's funny. And I think, it is, like you said, a really good turn your brain off. Like it was a lot easier to watch than a show like Demon Slayer or even like Spy Family, like other shows that we've watched from this on this series. My issue with it though is that I feel like I got bored a lot. I feel like the plot was very simple, and I think that it uses it in its favor, but it was an effort to stay off my phone. Like I think in the second half was a lot better, but the first half of setting up like the villains and like the whole arc and everything was a little hard to get through because I felt like I was just watching a worse Harry Potter ripoff. What I will say is the show has such a solid concept. And so like the concept of he doesn't have magic, but he's just super strong. I think there's so much room for comedy there. There was some really good bits and there's a lot of room for that. But I feel like they didn't use it to its fullest in the sense of like, I think they really, and this was one of my notes I wrote, I feel like this show has a really, really solid concept and the execution is fine, but I struggled that there was really only like 4 jokes and they were just kind of repeated like over and over again to the point where I was like, yeah, he likes cream puffs. Like, what am I supposed to do with that? I thought it was funny for like 2 episodes and then I was like, why does he like cream puffs so much? This is so bizarre. And it was really weird. And I was like, they kept calling him Mushroom Head. And I felt like the show wanted me to laugh every time they said it. But they say it like they don't use his name. They just call him Mushroom Head. Like it was funny once when I was like, haha, yeah. And then they just kept saying it. And I was like, this isn't funny anymore. Like, give me something else. So I felt like there was more room for a lot more comedy than what was there. I felt like it was the simplicity of the plot made it a fun and easy watch, but it could have been a little higher effort in the execution is kind of where I'm at. What do you think?
I appreciate the nuance in your take.
Okay.
Because it is very easy with a series like this to say, well, it's simple and it's bad.
Right.
Which is what a lot of anime fans do, is if it's not like a Jujutsu Kaisen or Demon or like a Attack on Titan, like 4-dimensional chess, like big brain thing, it's bad. Which you kind of got to have both sides of that coin of there has to be something that's a little more simple, and then you can have the more complex stuff. Like both can coexist and both can be good. So I appreciate the nuance in your take. I will say, as much as I have praised it, I do have my fair share of issues too, especially with where I'm at in the manga is, and this is like, it's a slight spoiler. It's not like anything super big.
Right.
But my issue with the series is I just finished volume 11 out of 18. So there's 7 more volumes for me to go. And right now, I don't feel like Finn and Lemon have done anything significant to the plot.
Yes.
Whatsoever. And that persisted in the first season where it's like Lemon is there to make a joke about being his wife, and that's it.
Right.
And she, like, I don't know what kind of magic she has. I don't know what her magic skill is. Same with Finn.
Right.
Which is weird because Finn's brother, Rain, is a divine visionary, like one of the big people.
Mm-hmm.
And he, like, hasn't done anything. He has, like, one really good moment in season 2 that's coming up.
Right.
But that's it. And, like, we haven't even gotten there yet. So I wish those characters were utilized a little more because right now it's very much like Mash does stuff, Dot does stuff, and Lance does stuff. And that's it.
And I feel like, you know, this is a common, I don't want to, I guess, criticism that people just kind of throw around willy-nilly. But I feel like the power scaling is a little off. Where, you know, the point is that Mash is like this, like he is strong as heck. Like that's the point. And he just beats the crap out of these magic people. And I really like that he wins those fights because all of their defenses are to defend against magic, which is something that he doesn't have.
Right.
He can't, like they have no defense against him because he doesn't have magic. And I think that works really well, but I also need him to bleed a little bit. Like none of the fights in this show felt like they had a lot of stake to me because I knew he was going to win. And I was like, let him be a little weak. Like any of those side characters, I felt like I was more invested in the fights with the side characters because they could have died. Like they really could have. And so I liked that, or I didn't like that. I felt like he needed to, I know the point. I get the point. The point is that he's like a meathead gym bro that just like, he's very dry and very like black or white. And he's very like, oh, okay, punch. Like that's his character. But because he's so dry and like stone-faced, I'm not super invested in him. Like, even at the end, like it's played for a joke when they're like, oh my gosh, like, you know, your peaceful life with your father, like it's being challenged right now. Don't you care? And he's just kind of like, you know, whatever. And I'm just kind of like, bro, like I want to care about you. Like give me something to care about. And so like that is a struggle I have with it is his dryness is funny. But I need a little bit more genuineness from him to really care about him as a main character.